Hey everyone, Sean and Anthony with the Geeks of Finance. We just wanted to talk about this critical juncture that the market seems to be at right now. We're looking here at the SPY on our gamma exposure dashboard. We've been highlighting this in Discord, the 470, 4700 levels on SPY and SPX. We breached that on the SPY. We're basically closing 467.28 today, which is currently the largest gamma concentration right at the top of our dealer cluster here at the G2 level. So this is a significant area that, if breached, could see significant downside ahead. So, Sean, I know we've been talking a lot about these particular levels and the possibility for volatility expansion.
Yeah, it really is kind of a mixed bag. We see the defensive names like in the Dow. There's a counter trend going on there as the Nasdaq's been cratering. um,
Yeah,
and
the DIA
no,
total gamma is still positive. So Dow
yeah,
Jones gamma exposure is still technically positive. I think that's flight to safety. Of course, everybody's going into those names because they're scared of the sell-off in tech.
yeah. Look at that big gamma concentration at that higher level there.
Yeah, what is that? That's the 385 strike. So another 3% higher. Look at this on the VIX. This almost looks like a cup and handle forming with potential breakout above the 14 and a half level. We're not quite there yet, but one of the things that you pointed out, Sean, is all the volume that's been coming in at the 19 and 20 strikes the
Yeah.
last three trading sessions. But of course, we see this big gamma exposure at the 20 strike. So that's a long ways from here, almost a 50% spike in the VIX to hit those
Yeah.
levels. If we look at the 3D gamma surface, most of that is concentrated in the January 17th expiration, so just a couple of weeks
Mhm.
out. So I don't know, something to keep an eye on for sure. You mentioned IWM. Basically, the last week, volume was coming in at the 190 and 191 strike. That was, for the past several trading sessions, the largest gamma exposure concentration. And that's really what dragged price down into that level. We're not quite there yet. And you can see on the chart, you can see like gamma exposure has been popping up, especially after today's trading at the 205 and 200. So it's a little bit all over the place right now on IWM. If you were going to short it, the short was last week. So now it's
Yeah.
a little bit more of a mixed picture.
Yeah, I noticed with that volume coming in at 200. I mean, this is actually the first day in a while where we've seen volume actually come in at a higher strike, but we still have significant interest at lower strikes. And this is where it gets very speculative, but I'm almost wondering if we see some sort of a short-term bounce that then fails, or do we continue lower?
Yeah, another thing I
Yeah.
noticed is across all the indices, ETFs, and mega cap stocks, I mean, there's this big gap here from Tuesday, which was the first trading day of the year. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's going to get filled before
Right.
we see another leg lower.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of traders, each of which follows a slightly different discipline. And it's always interesting to me when they come up with the same conclusion, but they have different reasons.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was our GEX weighted volatility gauge, 34.4 currently. 3 days ago, it was sitting at 4.5. So this is
Hmm.
a gamma exposure adjusted implied volatility gauge. So it's still on the low end, but significantly higher than it was just a few trading sessions ago. And we had been sitting below 10 for like 2 months, basically since the beginning of November. And it's just interesting that we're seeing this big bump up in implied volatility. The VIX really hasn't moved that much higher. It's like up like 5% in the
Yeah.
last few sessions. But implied volatility, if you drill down into the options market, implied volatility has picked up significantly. So something to watch out for. Here we're looking at Bitcoin had a big dip, a big red candle down right into the 41K
Mhm.
strike price, which we hit that on December 18th as well, bounce, hit it again yesterday morning and have bounced since then all the way back up to
Technically, that looks like
43,500 currently.
technically looks like a higher low too, even if it's ever so slightly. And I know certain traders that really pay attention to whether a low is higher or lower. And the fact that it's higher, they would see as bullish, given that it recovered from there and seems to be pushing higher.
Also noteworthy, this 45,000 strike and 50,000 strike, those have been the two largest gamma concentrations for the past month. And so even though it's tested that 41,000 strike twice, it keeps bouncing. And I think it's because there is so much interest here at this 45,000 and 50,000 strike. So, people are still expecting, I think, that Bitcoin ETF approval to come in this month. And so, leading into that announcement, I think there's going to be continued upward pressure, continued buying pressure in Bitcoin. And we're seeing that in the options market. If you guys are interested in adding strategies like gamma exposure data to your trading arsenal, go to our website, geeksoffinance.com. You can access our gamma exposure dashboard in our trading community Discord. We've got 3 different price tiers, something for everybody. We cover a number of tickers, ETFs, stocks, crypto. So definitely check that out. Sign up. We'd love to have you join our community. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.